Hello and welcome to another video. In this one, we're going to show you how to make a commit on GitHub using the API only and not cloning and pushing that way. I've had to do this a bunch of times for things like pre-commit CI. I've done this for work, and it's fairly involved, so I figured I would document just how you would do this, and hopefully this is useful for you. Anyway, let's jump into it. Okay, some of the concepts in this video are going to be rehashing some of the stuff in this other advanced video where I talk about how GitHub stores blobs, trees, commits, etc. The GitHub API is fairly literal and follows a lot of what this does here. So if you've watched this video, some of these concepts will be familiar. But as you can see, we need to hit a whole bunch of APIs to make this happen. All right, for our example today, we are going to try and make the README of AST-Pretty something else. You could imagine, cloning this and actually applying a change or pulling down the contents. I'm going to leave that part up to the user. We're just going to put hello world into this README because that's going to be easy enough. Okay, in order to get started, the first thing that we need to do is we need to figure out the commit in the tree of the branch we're trying to commit to. And in this case, I'm going to be trying to commit to the default branch. So we also need to know what the default branch is. This repo, I happen to know its main, but you might not. So I wanted to show you the first API request that we're going to do to get there, which is to retrieve the repository. Now, throughout this, I don't want to show you my tokens, so I'm going to make a curl command that contains my tokens. This is authorization token, and GH token is in my environment. And we're going to use this GH curl. This is an array here. We're going to use this in Bash to do this. Now, I would recommend writing Python and not writing Bash, but this was the easiest way to demo this, so that's what we're doing today. Okay, and in order to use this array, you would do $ curly curl at. This is just expand the array here as positional arguments. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to retrieve the repository, which is /repos owner repo. So api.github.com/asatilli/astpretty, and we're going to pipe that to JQ. That way we can see the JSON of the output. Not found. Oh yeah, it's /repos, of course. All right, cool. So a whole bunch of JSON. We're looking for the default branch here, and I don't remember what it's called here. So we're going to gret for main default branch. Okay, cool. So if we do jq.default branch. All right, that's how we can retrieve the main branch here. I'm also going to put a -q here. Oh, it's -- silent. We don't see the output. Okay, cool. So we retrieved the default branch name. Now we need to get the commit in the tree of the default branch. And so that brings us to our second API, which is to retrieve a branch. It is /branches/branch name. /branches/main. And then pipe that to JQ, of course, so that we get nice, pretty formatted JSON out. Okay, so that's going to retrieve our branch. We're looking for the commit here. Grab commit. Oh, it looks like it's a structure. Let's do grab SHA instead. And we get 3 different values here. Oh boy. I'm going to guess that it's commit.SHA. Okay, that'll give us our commit SHA. I'm going to save this in a little text file over here. That way I can get this back later. The commit is that one. We also need to get the tree SHA, which let's actually look at this commit blob here. Oh boy, big object. All right, commit has a SHA. Okay, cool. It also has a commit. Interesting. Here's the tree. That's what I'm looking for. We have to do .commit.tree.sha. Commit.tree.sha. Okay, so that's our tree. We'll use that later as well. Paste this over here. Okay, cool. We have the tree and the commit. Now we can go about making our own tree, and a little bit of rehash from that other video. The tree represents just the contents of the repository. A tree can reference other trees. It can also reference other blobs. Blobs are files. Trees are directories of files. There is an empty tree, which is the parent of all trees, essentially. And a tree builds on top of another tree, generally. Okay, so let's look at the next API, which is our getTrees API. So we need to make a post to this. And we need to specify a big blob of JSON. The JSON has two parts. One is the base tree, which we recorded here. This is the base tree. And then it has a tree list, which is a bunch of 4-key dictionaries. Okay, cool. So we got to write out a big bunch of JSON. This is the annoying part. Okay, so it's a post request. So we're going to do x post, and it is /get/trees, and we need to pass along some data. Data has base tree, which is going to be that tree object that we had before. Let me paste that in here. And then a tree list. And the list has 4 items in it. If I remember correctly, it's path. I'm going to be updating README. Path. Structure, properties of tree. Path mode. Okay, we want a normal file, so we're going to do this. 100 means it's a file. 644 means it is not executable. Mode this. Type. We are making a blob. How does a tree refer to a commit? I don't know what that is. Anyway, that's for me to figure out some other time. Type blob, and then up here it doesn't say that you can use content. It says to use SHA, but we're gonna shortcut here. You could actually use the get blobs API to make a blob, but there is a way to just specify content here. I don't know why their docs don't say that, but all right, and we're gonna make content be hello world with a new line. I hope that's how you do new lines in JSON. I don't remember, so hopefully that's right. And then this is our JSON blob, the post body that we're sending to this, which is what -d is. I think it's --data if it's the long option. So this should make a tree in theory. It did, and it gives us back the original tree object. We don't actually care about the original tree object, but we do care about this SHA that we created here. Now the nice thing about trees is they're deterministic. So if we do the SHA again, we're going to get back the same tree object. This is because trees don't contain like timestamps or commit messages or other stuff. Commits are not deterministic unless you freeze time, have exactly the same commit message, same author, same signing, etc. But trees are deterministic. So anyway, I'm going to copy this because this is our brand new tree object. New tree, paste that there. Okay, cool. Now that we have a tree, which represents our updated content, we need to make a commit from that. So that gets us to our get commits API. And this is also a post, and we're going to need some body there. So let's get rid of this, get commits -d, and let's put our new JSON body here. We need, what's the minimum requirement? I think we just need message. I don't think we need anything else. We need message and tree, and I think parents. Message required, tree required, parents, array of strings. Okay, so this is where we tell it what the base commit was. You can also customize author and committer. If you don't do this, it'll use whatever your user account is. You can also customize signature as well, but you don't need to do this. By default, API commits are signed using GitHub's special API signer thing. So we're going to get a signed commit out of this, which is also kind of cool. Okay, message. So message, hello world. What else did I need? I needed tree, which was that tree object that we grabbed that we just created. Paste this in here. And we need parents. These are going to be the parent commits. If you don't do this, you will just it'll be a brand new branch that has no parent. It's basically an orphan branch. It doesn't participate in your history. This if I set parents to the empty list here, it would reset the history from the beginning. But we do want to include our parent commit here. Now the reason parents is a list is this could be a merge commit, so you could have multiple parents. Not doing merge commits, so they're complicated. We're just going to do just a normal commit here. And I believe after we do that, it will make us a new commit object here, which has this SHA. And we can actually already look at this SHA in the browser, even though it's not part of a branch. ASD pretty commits commit / this. And you can see here, we have made our hello world, which has deleted the original README contents and replaced it with this. So we have succeeded at what we wanted to do, which is create a commit. We're actually going to go one step further there. Because if you look at this right now, you'll see this commit does not belong to any branch. That's because we haven't created a branch for it, so we can't really do anything meaningful with it. GitHub does allow you to persist commits that don't belong to branches, which is how you can even see this here, which is a little bit strange, but it has to do with how GitHub stores repos behind the scenes, and it's not a Git repo. There's some very interesting talks on how GitHub actually stores stuff. I'll let you Google those. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's the answer is pretty surprising. Okay, anyway, the last thing that we need to do is make this commit part of a branch. In order to do that, we are going to use the create a reference API. So this is /git/ was it /refs? Yes, /refs, and we also need to do another JSON blob body here. What do we need? Owner repo ref and SHA. Name of the reference, so ref/head/something. And SHA will be that commit SHA. Oh, I didn't write that down, did I? Let me grab that so that we can, yep, here's our commit. Put that in my notes so I can copy paste it. Okay, cool. All right, actually, we don't even need to put it in my notes because we're just gonna do this directly. Okay, SHA, and then our ref will be ref/head/ whatever we want to do. Let's call it hello world. That'll make our actual branch name. The ref/heads is important here because you could be using this to make tags, or I guess it's just tags. Yeah, or notes. There's notes, but I don't actually know anything about Git notes. Okay, but this should create our branch for us. Note that we're using the post API to this, which is the creation. There's also an update, which will use patch. So if you don't know if the branch exists or not, you would start with a post. If that fails, then you would use a patch to update it. Patch also has like whether it's a force push or not. Otherwise, you'll force it to be fast forward. This is also useful, this little distinction between post and patch here. If that didn't exist, you could create a branch accidentally when it doesn't exist. So if you don't want to accidentally create a branch, you would always use patch. Like if you're only doing updates, like Pragmate CI does, so it only uses patch here. Okay, but anyway, we run this now, and we have a branch. And so now if we look at our repo here, it'll actually say it's part of a branch here. And if we look at ASD Pretty, you'll see that there is now our brand new branch. There's also a wet branch. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, this is kind of the things that you need to make a commit. So grab the repository to get the default branch name. Using the default branch name, get the tree and commit for that branch. Then create a new tree. Then from that tree, create a commit. And then from that commit, create a reference. A lot of stuff that goes into making a commit, but at the end of the day, it's, I don't know, it's kind of cool that you can do this entirely from the API. But anyway, wanted to show this off. Hopefully you found this useful. If there are additional things you would like me to explain, leave a comment below or reach out to me on the various platforms. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.